Have you ever wondered if there comes a time in life when solitude could feel less like loneliness and more like the ultimate form of freedom? For many people, especially as they grow older, the idea of living alone begins to transform from something daunting to something deeply liberating. Perhaps you've started noticing signs that this new chapter, one filled with peace, joy, and personal space, could bring you more fulfillment than the hustle and bustle of a shared home. Maybe you've been asking yourself if it's time to embrace this change, to step into a life where living solo is not just an option, but a choice that brings serenity. Countless people have shared their experiences from online forums to personal conversations, and the common theme among older adults is how they found a profound sense of freedom in living alone. If you've been on the fence about whether this lifestyle might be right for you, then the signs we'll explore in this video may help you decide. There's a beauty in living alone that's often overlooked. And today, we're going to uncover how you can find peace and contentment in this choice. Stay with us until the end of this video, and don't forget to like it if you find it helpful. Share it with those who might also be considering living alone. And at the end, we would love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments. And of course, if you want more valuable content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel for insightful discussions that support your journey to living a more fulfilling life. Let's dive in. 1. You value peace and quiet more than ever. Let's start with a question. Have you noticed how much you now treasure those quiet moments as you get older? It's a common experience as we age to feel that peace has become more valuable than ever. After years of being surrounded by constant movement, busy households, or the demands of work and family life, there's something profoundly soothing about stillness. Margaret, a woman in her early 60s, shared a story that many of us can relate to. She had raised her children in a home filled with noise, energy, and activity. "I love my grandchildren dearly," she said, "but when they left after visiting, I felt relieved to have my quiet space back. That's when I realized I needed to live alone permanently." If you've ever experienced that sense of calm when the house is empty, it may be a sign that your spirit craves solitude, that space where you can finally unwind and find tranquility. As we get older, our priorities shift, and we begin to appreciate the simplicity of quiet. It's not that you love your family or friends any less, but the constant hum of noise can become more overwhelming than energizing. You may find yourself feeling drained by too much activity, and that's perfectly natural. That allows you to create an environment of peace where you're able to recharge and reflect. It's in this space of calm that you reconnect with yourself in ways you couldn't before, especially when the world around you is always moving. Many people find that, as they age, the beauty of having your own space becomes more evident. There's no longer the need to constantly cater to others' needs or keep up with a household's demands. Instead, you can create a sanctuary, a place where the quiet nourishes your soul and allows you to rediscover who you are. When the noise fades, you'll begin to realize how restorative silence can be. It's not loneliness. It's a conscious decision to embrace serenity and create a space that reflects the peace you now value. Think about it. After years of putting others first, whether raising children, supporting a spouse, or maintaining a bustling household, this stage of life offers you a rare and precious gift: time for yourself. You've spent so long tending to the needs of others, and now it's your turn to prioritize your well-being. Living alone gives you the chance to fully embrace your desires, your pace, and your rhythm without interruption. It's about creating a life that is tailored to what you need now, not what others expect from you. What's especially liberating about living alone is that it allows you to reclaim your time and your schedule. No more feeling pressured to follow someone else's agenda. If you want to sleep in, you can. If you feel like spending the entire day gardening or reading, there's no one to disrupt your flow. Margaret discovered this freedom and described it as a revelation. For the first time in years, she shared, I could just focus on what I wanted. No one else's timetable mattered. It was the most freeing experience of my life. We understand that the idea of living alone might seem daunting at first, especially if you've always been surrounded by others. But for many people, it becomes a sacred time for renewal. It's not about isolating yourself. It's about intentionally creating a space where you can thrive in peace. Think of your home as a reflection of your inner life, a place designed solely for your comfort and your joy. Whether you spend your days reflecting, meditating, or simply resting, the quiet becomes your sanctuary. This stage of life is also about giving yourself the emotional and mental space to process everything you've been through. Living alone provides you with the opportunity to reflect on your life's journey. It's a time to honor the memories you've created, to look back on the challenges you've overcome, and to appreciate the lessons you've learned along the way. In these quiet moments, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and find peace in knowing how far you've come. We often talk about the freedom that comes with having your own space, but it's also about having control. You are in complete charge of your environment, your routine, and how you choose to spend each day. There's something incredibly empowering about knowing that you no longer have to compromise your needs or desires. This autonomy gives you the confidence to live life on your own terms, making choices that reflect your true self. Of course, there may be times when you miss the company of others. But the beauty of living alone is that you can choose when and how to invite others into your space. It's about balance. You can enjoy the warmth of connection with family and friends when you want it, and then return to your peaceful solitude when it's time to recharge. You're no longer obligated to constantly share your space, but instead you can decide when social interaction feels right for you. While it's important to stay socially connected, what's equally crucial is staying connected with yourself. Living alone gives you the time and space to nurture your inner life. You have the opportunity to engage in the activities that bring you the most joy, to reflect on your thoughts, and to simply enjoy being with yourself. It's about self-care on a deeper level, tending to your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. It's about crafting a life that serves your current needs. Whether that's savoring a quiet cup of coffee in the morning, taking a leisurely walk in nature, or sitting on your porch watching the sunset, these moments of stillness become the most valuable parts of your day. Living alone gives you the freedom to fill your time with the activities that soothe your soul and bring you contentment. At this stage of life, you've earned the right to live at your own pace. No more rushing, no more feeling obligated to meet others' expectations. Living alone gives you the space to enjoy each day as it comes, with all the peace and quiet you desire. You are no longer confined to a schedule that doesn't suit you, but instead, you get to create a life that is truly your own. If you've been wondering whether living alone is the right choice for you, consider how it could offer you the peace and autonomy you've been seeking. It's not just about being alone. It's about creating a life that reflects the tranquility and joy you've worked so hard to cultivate. The quiet you now appreciate is a sign of a deeper connection with yourself, and that peace is one of the greatest gifts you can offer yourself as you age. When we look at the bigger picture, living alone as you grow older isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's a way to honor your journey. It's a way to acknowledge that you've spent decades giving to others, and now it's time to give to yourself. You deserve the peace, the space, and the time to live in a way that brings you happiness and fulfillment. And that, more than anything, is the true essence of aging gracefully. 2. You enjoy your own company. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson. First of all, we want to share with you that as you enter the later years of your life, one of the most important skills you can master is learning how to embrace your own company. Whether it's through engaging in hobbies, reflecting on your day, or simply finding peace in the quiet, solitude can become a source of great joy and fulfillment. It's not about isolating yourself from others, but discovering the richness of your inner world. Think about that 70-year-old man who found tranquility in his garden. His words reflect a profound understanding of what it means to be content with oneself. We know that society often portrays aging as a time when you should surround yourself with people. But the truth is, the ability to enjoy your own company is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Solitude offers you the freedom to listen to your thoughts, reconnect with your values, and cultivate peace without the distractions of others. This isn't about loneliness, it's about independence. There's a deep sense of satisfaction that comes when you can sit with yourself and feel complete. Many older individuals have expressed that living alone, far from being a burden, has actually enriched their lives. It provides the opportunity to live on their own terms, structuring their day as they please. For example, a quiet morning routine that includes a favorite cup of tea, time spent reading, or a stroll through the park can be deeply fulfilling when there is no one else to cater to or manage. The absence of external demands allows you to savor every moment, to live more slowly and intentionally. It's also worth noting that living alone can strengthen your sense of purpose. When you are responsible for your own happiness, your own schedule, and your own peace, you tend to become more in tune with what truly matters to you. Whether it's cultivating a garden, as the 70-year-old gardener does, or simply keeping a well-organized home, these little acts of self-reliance build a life that reflects your true desires. Each day becomes a canvas you get to paint according to your mood, needs, and passions. Solitude doesn't mean you cut yourself off from meaningful relationships. Instead, it can heighten your appreciation for the connections you do have. When you learn to find peace in your own company, your interactions with others can become more intentional, more joyful, and more meaningful. Living alone gives you the clarity to see which relationships add value to your life, and it frees you from the pressure of being constantly surrounded by others. As we grow older, we must also recognize the importance of staying mentally and physically active. Living alone can be an opportunity to invest in your health and well-being. Regular physical activity, whether it's gardening, walking, or even light exercise, keeps your body strong and your mind sharp. Meanwhile, mental engagement, such as reading, solving puzzles, or picking up new skills, can keep your cognitive abilities vibrant well into old age. When you live alone, you can prioritize these activities without interruption, building a life that supports longevity and happiness. Living alone gives you space to reflect on your spiritual and emotional well-being. For many, this means connecting with faith, prayer, or meditation. Solitude can open up a deeper dialogue with yourself, allowing you to explore your beliefs, find peace in your heart, and build resilience. When there's no rush, no noise, and no distractions, you can sit with your thoughts and reflect on what brings you true contentment. Living alone as an older person offers a rare and precious opportunity, the chance to design a life that aligns perfectly with your needs, your rhythms, and your aspirations. Whether it's gardening, reading, reflecting, or even indulging in quiet walks through nature, this phase of life can be a time of beautiful self-discovery. You don't need to conform to societal expectations. Instead, you can thrive in the solitude that nurtures your soul. Solitude, when embraced fully, becomes a powerful tool for growth, healing, and joy. It's in these quiet moments that you learn the most about yourself. The peaceful rhythm of your day, the stillness of your home. These aren't signs of loneliness, but of a life well lived. A life where you are content with who you are, where you are, and what you have created for yourself. Remember, it's not about the absence of others, but the presence of your own joy, contentment, and fulfillment. 3. You have strong boundaries and prioritize your well-being. Have you ever noticed how, as we age, our sense of what truly matters becomes clearer? Many older people find that they now have stronger boundaries than they did when they were younger. This isn't by accident. It comes from years of understanding their needs and realizing they don't have to compromise their well-being for others. So let's ask this. Have you ever felt that you're no longer willing to sacrifice your comfort or peace of mind for someone else's benefit? If that sounds familiar, it might be time to consider living alone. It's not about distancing yourself from loved ones. It's about protecting your mental and emotional health, ensuring that your space feels like a sanctuary. Take the example of Liz, whose story we came across in a video comment. Liz was living with her adult daughter and grandchildren, a situation that many would assume brings joy. And while Liz loved them dearly, over time, she realized that sharing her home had begun to erode her sense of peace. The constant noise, the mess, the late-night disruptions, it all started to wear her down. "I just wasn't myself anymore," she said. It became clear to her that her well-being was being sacrificed, and the boundaries she needed for her mental and emotional health were being crossed. Liz reached a point where she knew it was time to prioritize herself, and she decided to live alone. Living alone can offer something many of us crave: space. Space to think, space to rest, and space to recharge. It's about creating an environment where your needs come first, where you can breathe freely without feeling like your personal boundaries are constantly being tested. When you're living with others, even family, there are inevitable compromises. But when it's just you, in your own space, you have the freedom to set the tone of your day, your environment, and your life. It's a powerful shift, and it can bring a sense of calm that many of us underestimate. Boundaries, as you well know, are not walls to shut people out. They are lines that we draw to protect our emotional and mental health. Liz's decision to move into her own space wasn't a rejection of her family. It was a reclaiming of her peace. This is something we should all consider. There's nothing selfish about prioritizing our well-being. In fact, when we respect our own boundaries, we're better able to show up for others in a way that is healthier, more loving, and more sustainable. Now let's talk about the practical side. For some, the idea of living alone might feel intimidating or even lonely at first. But the truth is, being alone doesn't have to mean being isolated. Instead, it can be a time of deep reflection and reconnection with yourself. Without the demands of others, you may find that you have more energy to invest in the things that bring you joy, whether that's reading, gardening, or simply enjoying a quiet moment with a cup of coffee. When your environment is one that nurtures your spirit, you'll be surprised at how much lighter life feels. One thing that can be hard, especially if you've spent much of your life caring for others, is allowing yourself to shift the focus inward. But as we get older, it becomes even more essential to ensure that we're taking care of our own needs. This isn't about being selfish. It's about recognizing that your peace and well-being are just as important as anyone else's. When you take time to nourish your own mental and emotional health, you'll find that you're in a better position to give back to the people you love. Perhaps not in the same ways as before, but in ways that are meaningful and fulfilling. And when we talk about living alone, let's not confuse solitude with loneliness. In fact, many people discover that they feel more connected to themselves and to life when they have space to breathe. Solitude offers an opportunity to reflect, to rediscover who you are without the noise of other people's needs or opinions. It's a time to explore new passions or rekindle old ones. And in that quiet, you might find a renewed sense of purpose that fills your days with joy. Of course, this decision isn't for everyone. Some people find great fulfillment in shared living spaces, while others, like Liz, realize that they need a personal sanctuary to thrive. What's important is that you listen to your own heart and be honest with yourself about what you need. There's no right or wrong answer, only what feels true for you. And it's okay to recognize that your needs have changed over time. What may have worked for you years ago might no longer bring you the same peace. And that's perfectly natural. As we grow older, it's crucial to honor the wisdom that comes with those years. We've spent decades learning about ourselves, understanding what makes us feel good and what drains us. So why not put that knowledge into practice? By setting firm boundaries, and perhaps even choosing to live alone, you're acknowledging that your well-being matters. You're making a conscious choice to protect your peace, which is something no one else can do for you. Before, you're ready for more control over your space and time. Imagine this. You wake up one morning and realize that every little decision, what time to eat, which TV show to watch, how clean the house should be, is no longer up to you alone. While you may still cherish those you live with, the craving to have complete authority over your daily rhythm becomes undeniable. This isn't about pushing others away. It's about reclaiming your own space, your own choices, after a lifetime of shared living. One story we came across recently was from someone who had this exact experience at 65. This person shared, "I realized I was tired of compromising on everything. Dinner time, house cleanliness, even what shows we watched, everything felt like a negotiation. I love my family, but I wanted to live on my own terms." Do you recognize that feeling? The quiet but persistent desire to shape your days entirely as you wish? It's something many people encounter as they step into their later years. Living alone offers something truly special. The ability to decide completely and utterly how your day unfolds. It's not just about what time you eat dinner or what you watch on television. It's about the freedom to craft each moment to your liking. We find that for many older adults, this freedom becomes a source of profound contentment and joy. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from knowing the space you inhabit is entirely your own, shaped and designed just the way you want it. Picture the quiet satisfaction of waking up when you want to, with no one else's schedule to consider. The room is arranged exactly as you prefer. The sounds and smells around you all of your choosing. You pick up a book when you feel like it, or listen to the music that brings you peace. It's these small moments that create a life where every choice reflects your desires, where compromise has gently stepped aside to make room for pure autonomy. We know that for many, the idea of living alone can initially seem daunting. The absence of others can feel like a void rather than a gift. But once you experience it, the silence transforms into peace. The space around you becomes not empty, but filled with your own energy, your own purpose. Living alone can be the ultimate expression of self-respect, because it allows you to focus on what truly matters to you without the constant need to adjust for someone else's preferences. We've seen countless older adults come to cherish this freedom deeply. They find that when they are no longer constantly negotiating the small details of life, they can invest their energy into passions they've perhaps long set aside. Maybe it's painting, maybe it's gardening, or maybe it's simply the joy of sitting quietly with a cup of coffee, undisturbed by the noise of shared living. It's in these moments that living alone becomes a pathway to fulfillment rather than isolation. Now, we're not suggesting that living alone is for everyone. Some people thrive in the company of others, and for them, communal living can offer the connection and closeness they seek. But for those of you who have felt the pull toward solitude, know that it's not about loneliness. It's about freedom. It's about crafting a life that feels like your own, where every decision is made by you, for you. What we want you to take away from this is that the desire for autonomy is natural and healthy. It's a sign of growth, not selfishness. The peace that comes from having your own space, where your decisions reign supreme, can be life-changing. It allows you to rediscover what truly makes you happy, without the constant push and pull of others' needs. 5. You've outgrown the need to care for others full-time. Maybe you've spent decades caring for your children, supporting your spouse, or looking after aging parents. All those years of putting others first, of giving your time, energy, and heart to ensure everyone else is taken care of, may have left little room for you to focus on your own well-being. This period of caregiving, though deeply meaningful, can sometimes make you feel as if you've lost touch with your own desires. And now, if you've reached a stage where those caregiving responsibilities have diminished, you might start to ask yourself, what about me? This is a question you have every right to ask, and it's one that marks the beginning of a significant shift in your journey. We've seen time and again that when people step back from the role of caregiver, there's a mixture of relief and hesitation. You may feel a sense of liberation, a recognition that you've earned the right to focus on yourself. But at the same time, there can be lingering doubt. Is it selfish to put my needs first now? Let us assure you, it is not selfish at all. In fact, this period of your life is meant for rediscovery, for exploring what it feels like to prioritize your own happiness after years of selflessness. There's nothing wrong with wanting a space that's entirely yours, a life where your day is guided by what you love and not by the needs of others. One woman we heard about shared her experience after her husband passed away, saying, "I love my family, but it was time for me to live my life for me." And that feeling of stepping into your own can be incredibly empowering. Imagine waking up each morning with the freedom to decide how your day unfolds, without the constant pull of responsibility. This time is a chance for you to rediscover old hobbies or explore new interests. It might be something simple, like picking up a book you've always wanted to read, or tending to a garden that brings you peace. Or it could be something more adventurous, like learning a new skill or traveling to places you've always dreamed of visiting. The beauty of living alone at this stage in life is that you get to focus on what nourishes your soul. It's an opportunity to reconnect with the parts of yourself that may have been pushed aside while you were busy caring for others. Now, we understand that the idea of living on your own after so many years of caregiving can feel daunting at first. You may wonder how others will perceive this shift, especially if they've become accustomed to you being the one who holds everything together. But here's something important to remember. This change isn't about abandoning your loved ones. It's about establishing healthy boundaries, about recognizing that your well-being matters too. Those who truly care about you will respect and understand your need to focus on yourself, and they'll appreciate the balance you bring to your interactions. When you care for yourself, you're able to show up more fully and joyfully in the moments you spend with them. Living alone doesn't mean isolation. It's about creating a space where you can breathe freely, where you can nurture your own needs and desires without feeling stretched thin. It's about finding comfort in your own company and recognizing that solitude can be a source of strength, not loneliness. By stepping into this independence, you give yourself permission to explore new dimensions of who you are, perhaps dimensions that have been waiting quietly for this moment to emerge. This is your time to grow, to expand, and to live life on your own terms. What's remarkable is that as you focus on yourself, you'll likely notice a transformation in the way you connect with others. When you're not constantly drained by the demands of caregiving, you'll find that your relationships become more meaningful. You'll engage with your family and friends from a place of fullness, not obligation. The time you spend with them will feel richer because it's chosen, not forced by duty. You'll have more energy to invest in those moments, and they'll appreciate the joy and vitality you bring into their lives. Of course, as you make this transition, it's important to be mindful of your own health, physical, emotional, and mental. This is your foundation for a fulfilling life. We encourage you to develop habits that support your well-being, whether it's through regular exercise, nourishing meals, or finding activities that bring you peace and relaxation. By caring for your health, you're setting yourself up for a future where you can continue to embrace life with enthusiasm and energy. This isn't just about living longer, it's about living better, about ensuring that the quality of your life matches the depth of your spirit. Every act of care, every sacrifice, has shaped you into someone of immense strength and compassion. But now, the time has come for you to turn that care inward. Living alone is not a retreat from the world. It's an opportunity to celebrate the life you've built and the person you've become. It's a moment to honor your journey by giving yourself the gift of focus, the gift of attention, the gift of prioritizing you. This shift towards independence is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a beautiful new chapter. One where you are not just a caregiver, but a person full of potential, dreams, and desires still waiting to be fulfilled. It's about creating a life that's rich with purpose, a life where your happiness takes center stage. And let us assure you, it's never too late to embrace this freedom. 6. You want to age on your own terms. Aging alone can be a time when you embrace your independence and the freedom to make choices that suit your lifestyle and personal preferences. Imagine a life where every decision, from what you eat to how you spend your day, is fully within your control. Aging alone can offer you that autonomy, and it is a path many people find empowering, as it allows them to live on their own terms. You can be at peace knowing that you are in charge of how your days unfold. What we've seen in many older individuals who choose this path is a newfound appreciation for the simple joys of life. The quiet of a peaceful morning, the ability to choose when and how you engage with others, and the comfort of having a home that truly reflects your needs and desires. Living alone can offer a sense of serenity that's often lost in busier environments. And with that serenity comes clarity. Clarity about what truly matters to you as you navigate the later years of life, free from the external pressures of what others think you should be doing. A man once shared with us a thought that resonates with many older people who value their autonomy. He said, "I want to decide when and how I ask for help. I don't need someone hovering over me all the time." This captures a sentiment we've heard many times: the desire to remain self-sufficient for as long as possible. Living alone allows you to maintain that sense of independence, to be the captain of your own ship, so to speak, without the need to constantly accommodate others' schedules or preferences. Now let us be clear. Choosing to live alone doesn't mean you're cutting yourself off from support or companionship. It means you get to decide how and when to engage with those around you. If you need help, you can seek it on your own terms. If you want company, you can invite it when it suits you. This way, you retain the ability to cultivate meaningful relationships without sacrificing your personal space or autonomy. We often hear concerns about safety and support when it comes to living alone as we age. But let us reassure you, there are countless ways to ensure you're both safe and supported without sacrificing your independence. From technology to community resources, there are options that allow you to live comfortably on your own, while still having access to help when you need it. You can arrange for assistance with certain tasks, but on your terms, maintaining the dignity and autonomy that are so important to you. It's essential to remember that living alone doesn't mean shutting people out. It means prioritizing your well-being and deciding how you interact with the world. For many, this creates space to focus on the things that truly bring them joy, whether that's pursuing a hobby, spending time outdoors, or simply enjoying the quiet comfort of their own company. It can be a deeply fulfilling way to live, provided that you approach it with intention and mindfulness. We've found that those who thrive in living alone often do so by building a routine that balances solitude with connection. They create daily rhythms that keep them engaged and active, while also allowing for moments of reflection and relaxation. Whether it's gardening, taking a walk, reading, or calling a friend, these activities keep the mind sharp and the spirit light. Aging alone, then, becomes a process of crafting a life that is both enriching and manageable. There's a beautiful sense of liberation that comes from knowing you can create your own environment, one that caters to your preferences and needs without compromise. You are free to arrange your home, your schedule, and your life in a way that aligns with who you are and what you want at this stage. You are the one setting the boundaries, deciding when to open your door to others and when to relish in the solitude that living alone affords. 7. You're ready for a fresh start. When we talk about living alone, especially later in life, we're not just talking about a change in your physical surroundings. It's about something much deeper, an opportunity to reconnect with yourself in ways that might have been forgotten in the hustle and bustle of family life, work, or other commitments. This stage of life can offer a kind of peace and reflection that's often hard to find in earlier years. It's a time when you can explore interests, passions, and even dreams that may have been set aside for too long. Just like the man who downsized to a small apartment and began taking art classes, this is your moment to start fresh, to rediscover the things that ignite your spirit. Living on your own provides a special kind of freedom, a space where you can breathe, reflect, and create new rhythms for your daily life. It's not just about filling time, it's about intentionally choosing how you want to live each day. Whether it's developing a new hobby, engaging in creative activities, or simply savoring the quiet moments with a cup of tea, these choices give you the chance to live in alignment with what truly matters to you. The absence of routine obligations opens up the freedom to listen to your own needs, to follow your own pace, and to enjoy the richness of life on your own terms. Now, it's important to acknowledge that living alone isn't without its challenges, but those challenges can be transformed into opportunities for personal growth. Rather than viewing solitude as a form of isolation, we encourage you to see it as a time for deep personal connection with yourself. Solitude allows you to appreciate your own company, to reflect on the experiences that have shaped you, and to develop a strong sense of independence. In many ways, it becomes a gift, an opportunity to build emotional resilience and find strength in your own presence. This is where true inner peace can grow. Let's also explore how this fresh start can revitalize your sense of purpose. When you're no longer bound by old routines or the expectations of others, you're free to make decisions based on what excites and inspires you. Whether it's learning a new skill, volunteering in your community, or taking up a passion project, the possibilities are endless. Many older individuals find that this stage of life brings an unexpected sense of vitality. They become explorers of their own lives, curious about what else they might be capable of achieving. And that's the beauty of it. There's always room to grow, no matter your age. As you settle into this new chapter, consider how your living environment plays a role in shaping your experience. Downsizing, as many people have done, is not about loss. It's about creating a space that reflects your current self. It's a way of simplifying, of clearing out the clutter both physically and emotionally, so you can focus on what truly adds value to your life. In doing so, you create a living space that is peaceful, intentional, and nurturing. Your home becomes a reflection of the life you're building, one filled with the freedom to live fully, without distractions. Living alone also opens up the door to more authentic connections with others. While you may have more time to yourself, this doesn't mean you're disconnected from people. In fact, many people find that their relationships deepen because they're engaging with others more deliberately. You're no longer driven by obligation, but by genuine desire to connect, which makes your interactions more meaningful. Whether it's reconnecting with old friends, building new relationships, or spending quality time with family, living alone allows you to approach these moments with intention and heart. Another key point is the flexibility that comes with this stage of life. You're no longer tethered to the same routines, so there's more room for spontaneity. Want to travel? Explore new hobbies? Engage in lifelong learning? The possibilities are yours to shape. This is a time to embrace your curiosity and pursue the things you've always wanted to, knowing that every new experience enriches your journey. The man who took up art classes didn't just find a hobby. He found a new passion that breathed life into his daily routine. This kind of discovery can happen for anyone who is open to trying something new. Lastly, we encourage you to think of this stage as not just a continuation, but as a genuine beginning. There is something incredibly powerful about taking control of your narrative, especially later in life. You have the wisdom of experience, yet the freedom to rewrite your story however you choose. Living alone allows you to do that with grace, independence, and confidence. You're not bound by old definitions of who you are. You get to define what happiness looks like for you now. So as you move forward, remember that this fresh start is a celebration of your independence, your wisdom, and your ability to create a life that is uniquely yours. Number 8. You're craving minimalism and simplicity. Let us continue with the story of a woman named Maria, a lady in her 70s who made the conscious decision to embrace minimalism. She found herself surrounded by clutter, old furniture, mementos from years gone by, and even relationships that had begun to feel more like burdens than blessings. One day, she decided enough was enough. Maria moved into a smaller, simpler space, and with that, she began to release the things that no longer served her. She found freedom in less, fewer possessions, fewer obligations, and a deeper connection to what truly mattered to her. Her story is a reminder that sometimes living alone is not about isolation, but about creating space for peace, clarity, and contentment. Craving simplicity is not a sign of withdrawal. It is a sign of wisdom. As we age, the noise of life, the material possessions, the constant busyness can feel overwhelming. By choosing to live alone, you are not shutting the world out. You are inviting calm in. You are making room for reflection, for gratitude, for the things that genuinely bring joy to your life. It is about decluttering both your home and your mind, giving yourself permission to let go of what no longer serves you. The thought of living alone may seem daunting at first, but think of it not as a step toward loneliness, but as a fresh beginning. It's an opportunity to live on your terms, without the weight of unnecessary obligations. It's about building a sanctuary where you can focus on your health, your hobbies, and your passions, without distractions. When you're in control of your environment, you can cultivate habits that nourish you, both physically and mentally. This could be the time when you rediscover long-forgotten interests or develop new ones that bring fulfillment. Living alone also grants you the gift of time. Time to reflect, to slow down, and to truly be present in the moment. We often underestimate how much mental clutter builds up when we are constantly around others or surrounded by too many things. When you simplify your surroundings, you will find that your mind follows suit. You gain clarity, and with clarity comes a deeper sense of peace. Living alone allows you to reconnect with yourself, your thoughts, and your true desires. In this space of simplicity, happiness becomes easier to find. However, We must not overlook the importance of connection. Minimalism in life does not mean cutting ties with others. On the contrary, it can strengthen the relationships that truly matter. You become more intentional with your time and energy. Instead of spreading yourself thin, you focus on the people and activities that add value to your life. Living alone gives you the freedom to choose when and how you engage with others, without the constant pressure of social expectations. It allows you to maintain a balance between solitude and meaningful connection. By simplifying your life, you open doors to new experiences, new joys, and new forms of contentment. The peace that comes from a minimalist lifestyle is a powerful source of happiness because it removes the distractions that prevent us from appreciating the small, meaningful moments. You'll find that happiness often resides in simplicity. We also want to mention the importance of maintaining good quality sleep. When you are in a space that feels calm and uncluttered, it becomes easier to rest. Sleep is vital to your overall well-being, and simplifying your living environment plays a significant role in creating a restful atmosphere. With fewer distractions, your body and mind can fully relax, allowing you to wake up feeling refreshed and energized. It's an opportunity to create a nightly routine that is entirely your own, one that promotes health, longevity, and happiness. And about the power of choice, you get to choose how to spend your day, what to focus on, and how to navigate your time. You have the freedom to design a life that reflects your values and priorities, reclaiming your independence and making decisions that align with your well-being. In this phase of life, it's crucial to listen to what your heart truly desires. And sometimes, that means choosing simplicity, serenity, and solitude over the noise of the outside world. 9. You want to make your own decisions without compromise. Have you ever stopped to consider what it would be like to live your life without having to constantly adjust to someone else's preferences? Think about it. No more need to negotiate what to eat for dinner, what music to play, or how to spend your day. For many older adults, the idea of making decisions completely on their own terms is not only refreshing, but also deeply liberating. After years of adapting to the needs of family members, partners, or even roommates, the opportunity to reclaim personal autonomy can bring a newfound sense of freedom that's almost unmatched. As we get older, the desire for independence often grows stronger. It's not about disregarding others or rejecting companionship, but about nurturing our own needs and desires. There's something profoundly satisfying in the ability to wake up in the morning and know that every choice you make is yours alone. This isn't selfishness, it's empowerment. When you live alone, there's no need to check in with anyone, no obligation to weigh someone else's opinion before making even the smallest decision, like what to wear or how to arrange your home. We often underestimate how much mental energy goes into compromising with others. It's not just about big life decisions, but the everyday negotiations that slowly wear us down over time. The peace that comes from being in complete control of your environment is something many older adults find deeply rewarding. A simple decision like what to have for breakfast or how to spend your evening becomes a moment of personal expression. Living alone offers a space where you can truly listen to your own voice, something that might have been drowned out by years of catering to others' needs. Consider the story of a woman who spent decades accommodating her family's preferences. For years, every vacation, meal, and weekend activity was decided as a group. While she loved her family, she found herself longing for the day when she could finally make decisions that were purely her own. When she eventually began living alone, she described it as a revelation. For the first time in decades, she felt like her life belonged to her again. The colors she chose for her walls, the music she played in her home, even the rhythm of her daily routine, it all became a reflection of who she was, without any outside influence. Living alone allows us to reclaim a sense of personal freedom that many of us didn't even realize we were missing. It's not about isolating ourselves from others. Rather, it's about creating a space where our decisions align with our own values and preferences. After years of adjusting to the needs of others, there's a unique joy in realizing that your life can be entirely yours. This doesn't mean we don't care about others, but it does mean that we've earned the right to prioritize ourselves without guilt. We often find that our mental clarity improves as well. The quiet that comes with living alone provides the perfect backdrop for reflection and self-discovery. Without the constant noise of negotiating with others, we can finally hear our own thoughts. This time alone can help us reconnect with parts of ourselves that may have been pushed aside over the years. Whether it's reigniting a long-lost hobby or simply taking the time to enjoy peaceful solitude, this period of life can become a time of personal growth and satisfaction. Autonomy in our older years isn't just about independence. It's about the dignity that comes from knowing we can make decisions that feel right for us. It's about finding joy in the small things, like choosing what to read before bed, or deciding how to spend a lazy Sunday afternoon. These little moments may seem insignificant, but they add up to a life that feels authentically our own. The power of making our own choices, without having to consult anyone else, can bring a profound sense of fulfillment. This stage of life offers a rare opportunity to focus on ourselves in a way that we may not have had the chance to do before. After years of caring for others, whether it's children, a partner, or even aging parents, living alone allows us to prioritize our own well-being. This might mean dedicating more time to physical health, exploring new interests, or simply enjoying the peace and quiet that comes from not having to constantly compromise. Many older adults find that their relationships with friends and family become even stronger when they have the space to live independently. When we're no longer bogged down by the day-to-day negotiations of shared living, we have more energy to nurture meaningful connections with the people we care about. And because we're living in a way that feels true to ourselves, those connections can feel even deeper and more genuine. At the heart of this independence is the realization that we have the power to shape our own lives. For many older adults, this autonomy is a gift that brings a renewed sense of purpose. No longer are we living in response to others' expectations. Instead, we're able to pursue what truly makes us happy. Whether it's traveling, picking up a new skill, or simply enjoying a quiet morning, the decisions we make are ours and ours alone. 10. You're ready for emotional independence. The next thing we also want to share is how profound emotional independence becomes as you step into this phase of life. It's a signal that living alone might not just be an option, but a liberating experience that allows you to live life on your terms. Imagine reaching a place where you no longer seek constant validation or support from others. Instead, you've grown into someone who can navigate your emotional world with clarity, relying on your own inner strength. This ability to be self-sufficient emotionally isn't about withdrawing from people. It's about gaining the freedom to manage your own feelings with confidence. As you age, you might notice that you become more attuned to your inner voice. The need for external reassurance gradually fades, and you realize that you are perfectly capable of handling the complexities of your emotions. Let's consider someone like Frank. For years, he felt uneasy whenever he found himself alone, constantly seeking company. However, over time, he discovered that he didn't need others around to feel at ease. Now he thrives in his own space because he's built up the emotional strength to be self-assured in solitude. The fear of being alone disappeared as he learned to trust his own emotional balance. Jean, like many others, experienced something similar. In her earlier years, she always looked to those around her for emotional comfort. But as the years passed, she realized that her happiness didn't need to be tied to someone else's presence. Now Jean finds joy in spending time with herself, reflecting and engaging in activities that nurture her soul. This kind of emotional independence isn't about isolation. It's about finding satisfaction in your own company and knowing that you are enough. As you develop emotional independence, you'll find living alone a time of personal growth and reflection. It gives you the space to reconnect with parts of yourself that might have been overshadowed by the demands of relationships and family. Living alone becomes an opportunity to truly focus on your own needs without feeling pressured by others' emotional expectations. You learn to prioritize what's important to you, without the constant pull of external demands. Another key point is how emotional independence brings a new level of peace. When you no longer rely on the emotional support of others, you free yourself from the roller coaster of external influences. You start to find stability from within, and that kind of tranquility cannot be easily disturbed. Imagine waking up each day, knowing that your emotional well-being is not dictated by someone else's actions or words. That's the kind of freedom emotional independence offers. 11. You want to focus on your personal growth and self-discovery. Let's continue with a story that might sound familiar to some of you. There was a woman in her late 60s who had dedicated much of her life to raising her family and supporting her spouse. For decades, her focus had been on everyone else, her children, her partner, even her friends. She barely had time to consider her own needs or dreams. Then one day, she found herself living alone. At first, the quiet felt daunting. The routine she had known for so long was gone, and she felt uncertain about how to move forward. But after some time, something unexpected happened. She rediscovered a love for painting, a passion she had once cherished but had put on hold for years. It was like I was reconnecting with a part of myself I had lost, she shared. Living alone gave her the freedom to explore her interests without having to worry about anyone else's schedule or demands. That sense of independence helped her tap into parts of herself that had been dormant for years. First, we want to bring your attention to something vital. You now have the opportunity to focus on your personal growth and self-discovery, which can be one of the most fulfilling experiences in this stage of life. For many of you, life has been about fulfilling roles that left little time for self-reflection or exploration. Whether you've been a parent, spouse, or caregiver, your identity may have been wrapped up in those responsibilities, leaving your own needs and desires on the back burner. But now, living alone presents a chance to shift that focus. It's time to explore who you are outside of those roles, and that's something we believe is incredibly powerful. Of course, we understand that transitioning to living alone can feel overwhelming at first. The quiet might be uncomfortable, especially if you're used to the noise and chaos of a busy household. But what if we told you that silence could be the key to discovering more about yourself than you ever imagined? It's a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing the quiet as something to fear, consider it a blank canvas, a space where you can design your life exactly how you want it to be. You have the chance to follow your passions, reconnect with forgotten interests, or even develop new ones. This isn't about completely reinventing yourself or making massive changes. It's about paying attention to what brings you joy and fulfillment and nurturing that. Maybe you've always loved gardening, but never had the time to really get into it. Or perhaps you've always dreamed of writing, cooking, or learning a new language. Living alone gives you the freedom to explore these parts of yourself in ways that weren't possible when your attention was divided between so many other responsibilities. What's important to understand is that living alone doesn't mean you have to face loneliness. In fact, it often leads to discovering new strengths and talents you may not have known you had. It's about embracing this phase of life with a sense of curiosity, asking yourself, what is it that I want now? This is your opportunity to make choices that reflect your true self, without having to worry about fitting into anyone else's expectations or timelines. Remember, this chapter of your life is not about the end of something. It's the beginning of a time where you get to create the life you want, on your own terms. Whether that's picking up painting, joining a local class, or simply enjoying a quiet moment with a good book, what matters is that you are investing in your own well-being. You are allowed to focus on you now. Think about this time as a gift. It's a period in your life where you have the chance to nurture yourself, to invest in your passions, and to cultivate the version of yourself that feels most authentic. You've spent so much of your life giving to others. Now it's time to give back to yourself. Find joy in the quiet moments, lean into the activities that bring you peace, and watch how your life blossoms in ways you never thought possible. 12. You're ready to create your own routine and embrace flexibility. As you get older, your routine and schedule may become more important to you. Living with others often requires flexibility to accommodate their schedules, but when you live alone, you get to create your own routine that aligns with your personal energy levels and preferences. Whether you want to wake up early for a morning walk or stay up late indulging in a good book, you're free to shape your days however you see fit. Now, when we talk about creating your own routine, it's not just about setting times to do things. It's about allowing yourself the freedom to live in a way that truly honors how you feel. There's a deep satisfaction in deciding how your day unfolds. Whether it's starting the morning with quiet reflection or moving through the afternoon with bursts of activity that bring you joy. You don't have to rush to keep up with anyone else's pace. This is your time, and it's meant to be shaped around your needs. One of the greatest gifts of aging is that sense of self-awareness, knowing what makes you feel good and what drains you. It's an opportunity to create a nightly routine that is entirely your own, one that promotes health, longevity, and happiness. And about the power of choice, you get to choose how to spend your day, what to focus on, and how to navigate your time. You have the freedom to design a life that reflects your values and priorities, reclaiming your independence and making decisions that align with your well-being. In this phase of life, it's crucial to listen to what your heart truly desires. And sometimes that means choosing simplicity, serenity, and solitude over the noise of the outside world. 9. You want to make your own decisions without compromise. Have you ever stopped to consider what it would be like to live your life without having to constantly adjust to someone else's preferences? Think about it. No more need to negotiate what to eat for dinner, what music to play, or how to spend your day. For many older adults, the idea of making decisions completely on their own terms is not only refreshing, but also deeply liberating. After years of adapting to the needs of family members, partners, or even roommates, the opportunity to reclaim personal autonomy can bring a newfound sense of freedom that's almost unmatched. As we get older, the desire for independence often grows stronger. It's not about disregarding others or rejecting companionship, but about nurturing our own needs and desires. There's something profoundly satisfying in the ability to wake up in the morning and know that every choice you make is yours alone. This isn't selfishness, it's empowerment. When you live alone, there's no need to check in with anyone, no obligation to weigh someone else's opinion before making even the smallest decision, like what to wear or how to arrange your home. We often underestimate how much mental energy goes into compromising with others. It's not just about big life decisions, but the everyday negotiations that slowly wear us down over time. The peace that comes from being in complete control of your environment is something many older adults find deeply rewarding. A simple decision like what to have for breakfast or how to spend your evening becomes a moment of personal expression. Living alone offers a space where you can truly listen to your own voice, something that might have been drowned out by years of catering to others' needs. Consider the story of a woman who spent decades accommodating her family's preferences. For years, every vacation, meal, and weekend activity was decided as a group. While she loved her family, she found herself longing for the day when she could finally make decisions that were purely her own. When she eventually began living alone, she described it as a revelation. As we come to the end of this discussion, we want to remind you that living alone as an older person is not about withdrawing from the world or isolating yourself. Rather, it's about stepping into a space where you can fully reclaim your peace, your independence, and your sense of self. If any of the signs we've explored resonate with you, it could be a clear signal that it's time to embrace this new and exciting chapter in your life. Remember, this is a journey of self-discovery, where you have the opportunity to create a life that is tailored entirely to your needs, desires, and well-being. So many people have shared their experiences, and what shines through from these stories is the joy, contentment, and freedom they've found by living alone. It's a time when you can finally focus on yourself in a way that may have been difficult before, whether because of family responsibilities, work, or other obligations. Now, the time is yours. It's about creating moments of quiet reflection, cherishing your own company, and allowing yourself the space to truly breathe. The beauty of this journey is that it's deeply personal, and you are in control of how it unfolds. If you find yourself yearning for a quieter life, appreciating your own company, or feeling the need for more autonomy and control over your environment, then perhaps living alone is the next step for you. Trust your instincts and know that it's absolutely okay to prioritize your happiness, your peace, and your well-being at this stage of your life. Embrace this chapter with confidence, knowing that you are creating a life filled with purpose, serenity, and fulfillment. We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to share your thoughts and personal experiences in the comments below. Have you already made the decision to live alone? Or are you considering it? Let us know how this journey has impacted your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up to support our content. And please share this video with anyone who might also benefit from hearing these insights. And of course, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more valuable discussions that could help you navigate this beautiful phase of life. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to continuing this journey with you.